welcome to the real Hoovian show. Where we're with my guests. I want everyone to introduce yourselves.
Uh, Hello, this is Fake Host, Matrix Lore Toronto.
Whoa! I'm gonna have to stop you there. Copyright issues. I will get flagged. My editing system's not working, so I can't edit that out. So I have to apologize for any harm the viewers have just.
I have to say, I'll introduce myself. Let the
Okay,
challenge begin.
We got a new member. No, I'm joking. Can we just welcome David, everyone? A round of applause.
What's going on, guys?
I understand you're quite upset by tonight's episode.
Well, assuming everyone who is watching this has already watched the episode, I'm just going to make one thing perfectly clear. I was not the biggest fan of Clara, but I applaud the writing in this episode because the way everything that was done, the music, the dialogue, just the general tone, is so emotional. I didn't expect to be moved almost to tears by this, but I was. And to be honest, I'm with the doctor on this one. Now, I hate Ashilda more than I would ever hate any other
Thank
person
you.
who. Because I think, God damn, it's just so fucking sad.
I agree with that. I think if anyone who's been watching these has and if you have, you're pretty sad for watching all of them. No, I'm joking.
I say 3 rounds of applause for Clara's death.
Yeah, Clara's dead. No, as you can see, like if you've watched them, you know how much I despise Clara Oswald. I just want her to. I wanted her to have the most painful death. I wanted to be like in acid, and like her guts to be like strangling her, like getting killed by her intestines.
Well, after this episode, now you look like a big ass.
I just wanted to if I wrote this episode, she'd be like hanging by her intestines, and like it'd be really gruesome and painful. I just wanted to make her feel pain for all the suffering we've had to endure through her tenure of terror. But even I was upset by. Well, not upset. I wasn't crying. Like far from it. Far from it. I was probably like, I don't know. I felt nervous for her. I really did. Like the way, David said, the way it's set out with the music and the acting, and like you get these little subtle hints something's gonna happen. Like when she offers to take the tattoo from Riggsy, you just know that's gonna backfire, and you're just like. Even I was just really. I was like. I don't want to say it, but I was like, kind of like, don't do it, Clara, and I hate saying that because I don't like Clara.
If Connor, I'm looking at you, Connor Farley. If a certain someone had wrote in a certain Facebook chat what was gonna happen,
well,
I would have come up with this cast in tears. That's how. If I hadn't known what was going to happen. I think the impact would have been much more profound. And you know what? To be honest, I mean, what do you say? What do you say after this? I think many people are just lost for words that this even happened. Because it seems like, and one thing I'm going to draw from, from another cast that was recently done, when they had the biggest problem with, say, what was it, with Sleep No More, was that the Doctor lost. He lost the biggest thing ever. He has no TARDIS, no confession dial, no Clara. He is in the middle of God knows where. I think his loss in Sleep No More was like, this big compared to the amount he has suffered in this episode alone.
Definitely.
So, yeah, from those people in that cast, I expect them to hate this episode, but watch, they're going to praise it.
Can I just say, I agree with David completely with what he's been saying. I want to start a hate Ashilda page. Get Ashilda off. She's just
a Captain Jack ripoff.
Yeah,
Captain
not only
Jack
is she a ripoff, but after what she's done today, and I hate Clara, but even I want revenge on what she did. She was just so... Oh, like when she was just so smug as well. Like when that guy got killed, when he had to face the Raven. It was just so like, oh you bitch! He didn't do
The
anything
challenge
wrong.
began.
He stole some medicine or whatever. Boo flippity hoo. But I really did like the rest of the episode. I thought the Trap Street idea was really cool. But so
That was smart.
Connor, do you want to say your opinions on?
Yeah,
tonight's-
well, quite the contrary to what David said. I actually really love her shoulder now.
Ooh.
Not because she kills Clara in a sort of indirect way, but because I just think that she's a very, 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 very well-developed and good character.
It's because you got a hard on for Massey Williams.
Massey Williams.
With all due respect, Connor, I honestly, and I really just want you to help me with this. Where do you see the character development? Because I'm not hating on you liking a Shielder at all, but I just want to mostly know, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing?
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
I see
Because like, to me, and I'm gonna give you the impression I got from this episode. Now I did like her acting before, like when we first met a Shielder. I did like how the character was done, but now any feelings I had towards her character I feel exactly the same way that the Doctor feels now, where there's nothing more that I want than to see him like return like War Doctor.
You've lost your respect for her, basically.
The dark part of me wants him to do something, anything, to make her life miserable for the rest of eternity.
I want him to do what he did to Harriet Jones, kind of just screw her over, take away her power, when he's
Harriet Jones, she had a lot to lose, but what do you do with someone who's immortal?
Well, to be honest, a Shielder doesn't really have any sort of functioning, stable power. She's just someone that's been assigned to look after a refugee camp for aliens. I mean, that's all. She's not as powerful as they're making out. She seems it now because, obviously, she indirectly killed off the companion, Clara. But to answer David's question about development, it's quite a precise development because I think it's more emotional than, I think she's gone from being a fairly likable girl in a Viking village, in The Girl Who Died, to being a fairly messed up, I wouldn't say hateful, resentful individual who has no passion for life in The Woman Who Lived.
I agree with that.
Someone that's realised that, you can make the most of life and helping out people by being, the mayor of a refugee camp. And also when she realised that Clara had taken the tattoo or the death sentence off Rigsy, and she couldn't actually reverse it. There was kind of a bit more of a emotional instability there, where she kind of felt pain for what she's done to not only Clara but also the Doctor. So it's kind of, she's gone full circle in a way. If she comes back, I'd like to see, because she's different in every time we see her, which is rare for most characters. They normally stay in some sort of emotional state throughout all their appearances, but with the Shielder, you never quite know what you're going to get in terms of, because she is immortal, so she's probably gonna feel every emotion ever. I mean, she lost children. She's witnessed death on, I assume now, a major scale, because she's been around for must be nearly 1,000 years now.
I think it's an extra.
And she's just invoked the wrath of probably the most powerful being in the universe.
Yeah, so now she's kind of in the sights of the angry side or the darker side of the Doctor. So that now she's got that kind of fear.
You know what?
So It's all very emotional for sure.
As for this, for like, regardless of how distraught she looked when she realized Clara took the tattoo, she fully intended to kill Rigsy, one of the Doctor's friends. I wouldn't have been surprised.
But the thing is,
Actually, she was going to take it away from Rigsy.
yeah, she was open to being convinced otherwise, but I think you also saw a bit of evil in her, because when she purposefully...
The quest returns. Raven is back.
Oh, it's a kids program that Jack.
Oh yeah, the rage. Whatever, yeah.
on.
I remember that.
I agree with what you're saying, but with both of your points, Connor, I can see what you mean about the whole character development. Personally, I'm with David a bit more. Like, I don't think 3 episodes is enough for development. I don't really see. I liked her character more before this episode, but like the fact that she betrayed the Doctor and was willing to like do what she did to him. Not even without regard, with forgetting Clara and Rigsy, what she was going to do to the Doctor is what annoyed me. Because
Well, here's the thing. Do you remember what happened in the Family of Blood when the family incurred the wrath of the Time Lord, the fury of a Time Lord?
yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted that to happen.
well, we kind of saw it. I love that bit when he's like, "If you do this, I'm going to get UNIT, the Zygons, the Daleks. I'll bring the Cybermen here." He basically said you're fucked, and then.
Well, yeah, that's kind of a bit of like Time Lord victorious, but it's a shame that they seem to get him in a position where he does stuff like that, but then they pull him back from that.
That's what annoyed me.
You know what? I think they realized they jumped that shark with the waters of Mars.
Yeah, but that's not enough.
Yeah, like, was it just me? I know, Connor, you felt a bit like this, but David, I know you're fresh from seeing it. When Clara dies and she's doing that like regenerative arm pose and she's like screaming like, "Ah!" and you can't hear it, which I think would have been great if we could hear her scream. But when she falls, was it just me, or should the Doctor have went over to kind of like grab her in her dying moments, like her last breath?
Well,
Or
I
just
was like,
let her body flop on the floor, close the door, and then just be like, right, I'm going.
I think
Fire shoulder.
well, maybe that's for the character development of the 12th Doctor, because maybe he's not that sort of person that can
he's
get...
trying to deny it's even happened.
Sorry.
He's in shock. He still can't believe this has happened.
Yeah, I know, but like I don't know, like for me, the Doctor would never leave his. As much as I hate to say it, Clara's probably the most influential companion on his whole life through his time stream and everything, and he just left her there in the middle of that street. Didn't even attempt to go over to her. I know he might not. It must be horrible for him to have to witness that, but just to leave her dead, and then going over to Shield, he didn't look angry. I just wanted him to be. I wanted him to be what he was like just moments before when he was threatening a Shield with UNIT and Zygons and Daleks and Cybermen. I wanted him to be really angry, but
what would that accomplish?
Exactly, it wouldn't accomplish anything. But for him, it would just feel right for 12, like what Clara said, like, don't dishonor my memory. And I know that's what it was like, him not getting pissed off because of that. But I don't know, I just wanted to see him hurt, because for me it just felt like there was a way out for Clara, and
now we know. Now we know why River's coming back, and thank fuck she's coming back, because the Doctor needs her more than ever.
Well, according to what we've heard, Christmas is going to be like a rom-com.
Oh god.
Which
I've heard
is-
that, yeah.
Actually, though, to be honest, I don't like rom-coms, but
Will be called A Fish Called Clara.
after this, I think, as much as they say this is like the 12th run is getting progressively darker, this was probably one of the darkest episodes we've watched, and not just. I mean, like, what was the last time we saw a companion actually die on screen in front of us?
The Ponds.
Amy Pond.
No, I don't count Amy and Rory, because we never saw them actually die. They were
Yeah,
just.
that wasn't a death. That was just a teleport, technically. They just went
and
back
while
in time.
that was heartbreaking,
Not.
You knew when you thought about it that her and Rory were going to live a happy life. But then let's go back again. Who was before them? There was what?
Donna.
No,
Donna
well, it would have been the one that, if we're talking about proper deaths where there's no return, it
Adric.
would have been Adric.
It'd be who?
Adric, which would have been 30 years before Amy and Rory. So
I suppose
that's a long
Donna's.
time.
I suppose in a way, Donna's is before Clara. Donna's is the most like death because that version of her died, and she's just like.
Come on, Donna's death is sadder.
Yeah, for me,
Wait, Donna's
personally.
dead? I thought she just forgot everything.
Well, no, she forgot everything, but it's kind of like that version of her died.
The companion in her died, yeah.
Yeah, she can't remember anything. She
When I
can't.
say death, I actually mean it in a literal fashion. I mean.
No, I know what you mean. I was just saying, like, out of all of them, bar death, I think that's the saddest. Out of New.
In a literal sense, it would have been Adric.
I think what made Donna's, him wiping Donna's memory so sad was just how she was begging him not to.
Yeah.
And that you knew how much she had changed because of the Doctor.
And you could tell that when the Doctor was going to do it, every part of him didn't want to.
And he just did it because he had to.
Because there was no other way. I still think that Ashilda could have done something.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't get.
But
No.
he said the Doctor acted as though there was one way that she could have helped.
That's what I mean. That's why it just, for me, it feels like we haven't seen the last of Clara.
Connor, it doesn't. That's the one thing that doesn't add up. Don't you agree?
And
Well-
like, surely when he says, that Ashilda says,
If the Doctor knew there was no other way that Ashilda could help Clara, why was he saying, you change it now, I know you can? Because that implies that Ashilda did have a way to save Clara's life.
I think he was in a state of desperation and shock. I don't actually, because you expect. I think when you know that someone's going to die for definite in a matter of seconds afterwards.
Well, yeah, I know. Unfortunately,
I think it was just his shock. I think it was just him, like, do something. Like, he was angry and upset and.
But I think at the same time, he also kind of realized that, you know, that this could be a prophecy. This could be something that has to happen.
A fixed point.
Yeah, it's like because I think you know, another point in the episode, Ashilda was talking about how she made a deal with a group. She specifically said a group of people to get the
Did she
Doctor.
say the Sliders?
She said the Shade.
Oh.
to deal with the shade.
Yeah, which I believe is a bit like in James Bond, where they disguise Spectre as Quantum. I think it's the Time Lords.
Yes, definitely.
You think the Time Lords are behind this?
Yeah, I think it's the Time Lords have set it where they wanted the Doctor back. Maybe to save them from eternal frozenness.
Oh,
they
Frozen,
think
give me a break.
This is what I could have actually had.
Oh no!
Hey.
It's like, all I can think of in that case is when, back in the 50th anniversary episode, when Unit had a helicopter pick up the TARDIS, and all the Doctor would say would it kill you to knock?
Thing is, though, they didn't
Okay,
actually.
Albert,
intend
you
to-
haven't seen the episode, so please vacate this hangout.
Huh?
He has seen the episode, hasn't he?
The thing I was gonna say is, Clara wasn't murdered. She died to her own accord, and it's kind of one of those deaths where everyone's responsible in a way. Like, it's the Doctor's fault for taking her there. It's Ashilda's fault for doing the deal. It's just like everyone's, like, you can't really pin on one person. It's kind of Clara's fault for risking it all and being careless that killed her herself. But I just think it's definitely the best Moffat era companion, like exit. I know we've only had the Ponds, but at least this made sense. There's no coming back for her. Like with the Ponds, they could have easily returned.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Like they could have just got a boat to the next state or whatever, or waited till next year and the Doctor could go back. Like with this, at least there's no return for Clara, even though she'd probably be in the Nether Sphere or something cheesy. But I don't know. But did everyone else like the?
She'd be in the Nether Sphere. I honestly do not think she'd be in the Nether Sphere with Danny. I think that we should not see her after this, because then it's audience interpretation. You get to believe what happens next.
Well, we know she's in episode 12. We know she's a waitress in episode 12, but that's been rumored to be an echo of Clara.
Or it could be a scenario like, what was it? When
That end of time when Ted met
met
Rose. Yeah.
Yeah, you knew exactly what I was going to say. When
Yeah.
the Doctor went back to meet Rose.
I don't know. Like I said, she's apparently going to be American in it, and work at this diner, the one from what's it called? Impossible Astronaut, Day of the Moon. But I like the Ice Warrior, Sontaran, Jadoon, Silurian. What else? Who else was in this episode?
You said Cyberman, right?
Oh yeah, the Cybermen.
Capaldi?
That's the only thing I thought was a bit odd. Why would the Cybermen be in peace? I can understand maybe the others, but a Cyberman doesn't really have emotion. It wouldn't agree to peace. And was that just me or?
Well, wait, don't they have the emotional inhibitors that could have been removed?
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. It just felt a bit like, really. It wouldn't surprise me if Rusty the Dalek was there as well. Like, he
I
found a
want
loving
Rusty
home.
back.
But I do like the idea of the trap street. I thought that was really good. What did everyone think about Riggsy's return?
I thought it was pretty good in this episode, actually.
I watched Flatline this morning to kind of recap Rigsby, and I actually really like Flatline. It's probably the best Clara episode for me, my favourite of Series 8. So I was really glad to see him return in this, and I thought it was really poignant having him in here, because like in Flatline, Clara was his doctor, and it wasn't the Doctor. He saw the Doctor through Clara, so bringing like him back as like her companion was really nice, and kind of like the way she sacrificed herself for him and for his like child, kind of like she was brought up as like her mother died, so she knows how it feels to like have a parent missing. So I did like that. I thought it was quite nice.
I think the general consensus, though, about this episode was very emotional, though.
It's really the best episode of Series 9 so far.
I have my doubts about Moffat doing this season again. This restores my faith a little bit. I know he didn't write this episode.
He probably wrote the death scene, I would imagine.
No, they probably would have given him credit. They would have given him credit for that. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see who wrote.
It's Sarah something.
Face the Raven.
Sarah something.
Okay, hold on. Sarah Dollard. Let me see.
It won't say that Moffat did anything in it.
No, I'm looking it up right now. It was written by Sarah Dollard and directed by Justin
Molotnikov.
But Moffat rewrites most of the episodes anyway. Like he writes, like if you read the writer's tale with Russell T Davies, he says that like as showrunner they have to rewrite half the scripts anyway.
Well, I'm under the impression that she wrote, Sarah Dollard wrote that exit, because that exit wasn't very arc based. It wasn't based on Clara's arc.
I was expecting her last words to be like, "Run, you clever boy, and remember me."
Oh yeah,
I was going to say something when she was talking to him. I thought she said, "I want you to look at me with those big sad eyes."
I was expecting her to say as well, like, "Find someone. You need to find someone."
Oh yeah, that's kind of what I think every companion
that's their message. Like, never, like, don't travel alone. Find someone.
I
And
think
then when
that
he's
was
like,
sorry.
no, go on, go on.
I think that was a beautiful thing about this exit is that it's kind of left them with nowhere else to go in the future with bringing Clara back, because Clara didn't really, as you said, say, like run you clever boy and remember me, and she didn't tell the doctor, as David said, to go find someone. So it's like they've just kind of ended it on just a sudden, kind of end note with no place to kind of continue. I mean, I don't expect them to ever bring her back, especially after that ending, or even continue her story, because then you're going to get into really annoying territory where she'll never leave in any way. She'll always be there, and it's like, but yeah, it was just a very, very sudden sort of end.
I agree with that. Like, I remember when in Series 7, Series 7, I always imagined her, like, exit to be like Martha's. Like, she'd just, like, say, enough's enough, like, thank you for the ride, but
I'm
I've
out
had
of
enough now. Yeah, and then after Series 8, when it was all the stopping and starting, like, she was going to leave in Mummy, then she came back, and then she was going to leave in Death in Heaven, and she kind of did do that. Thanks for traveling with me, but I'm leaving now. Then in Last Christmas, she came back as an old person and was gonna die. And then after that, like after Series 8, like I was definitely like she's gonna have to die now, because if they do another false exit, it won't have any impact on anyone. And I think it's really good that they've done it like this. Now all I hope is that in episode 12, when we know she's in it, it's an echo of Clara, and it's just gonna be like all her echoes are dying because she's dead, like the original's dead. All the echoes die. Then that way we will never have to see her again, and then we don't have to be like, oh, it's still going on and her story never ends and all that crap.
Do you know what would have been very good, actually, considering where they were and that they weren't on an alien planet? If the Doctor took her body out onto like the street and started like calling for help, and then you saw kind of like police cars and ambulances, a bit like Danny's death.
Yeah, even if it was like the Doctor teleported, then Rigsy did it and went out in the streets with her body, like,
yeah,
someone help me.
Because the thing about Danny's death is that it was boring, but it was real.
Okay, enough.
It felt real. So it's like if they did that with Clara, where like they took her body out into the open streets and you saw ambulances and stuff,
I know,
and it felt like a real death.
Yeah. Sorry, no, go on.
Yeah, well, I've pretty much finished, but as I said, I think it felt like
She had died, like he was
it
dead.
felt like she had died. There wasn't any alien aspect to the. I mean, obviously the Raven had kind of an alien kind of quality to it.
I like the Raven. I
Kill
thought it was
something
cute.
like that. Yeah,
I want a
But,
pet Raven now.
yeah, but yeah, it kind of there was still something real and human about the death. That it wasn't really an alien sort of death. It wasn't something that you'd associate with Doctor Who completely. Like you could have that in any show.
It wasn't the
Part of the Raven. Sorry.
It wasn't like the Daleks exterminating them.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't an alien thing. It was. I mean, obviously, in terms of the Raven, like I said, it was alien because the way that the Raven killed her was very alien, and also the death sentence. But it's like at the same time, there was a rather human, real life aspect to it, where it wasn't too alien. It didn't go, as David said, it didn't go into the territory where it was like a Dalek exterminating someone or a Cyberman deleting someone or an alien, or Missy laser, with her device kind of blasting someone.
That's the thing. This is the only tiny, tiny, weeny bit of criticism I have, that I feel that Clara's story is not finished with the whole Missy thing. Like, I just feel really let down, like the whole woman in the shop, the reason Clara. I thought that's a really interesting aspect to have a companion that's been chosen by the master, and it didn't come to anything. And I don't know, if it just felt like Missy. I think Missy should have been there, even if she didn't kill her. Sorry, I think it would have just been cool to have had her there. So it kind of comes full circle, if you get me.
Oh, we don't know. Maybe she was there and we have no idea.
I think there was a woman, because we all know the aliens were disguised, who like just reminded me of Missy. Like she had the umbrella and she was skipping along, and I was
Well,
going.
they might play off that actually. They might say that Missy witnessed Clara dying.
Or
And
Missy was a raven.
could this be the Master's one of the Master's victories against the Doctor, that she did ultimately win in this scenario?
There was something very in terms of the way that they played out how Missy kind of was behind everything in Series 8. There was kind of very much a sort of feeling that someone was behind all of this. It's probably going to be the Time Lords, as I said, with the shade. But I also felt that maybe Missy, considering that also she appeared in an episode with Riggsy before in a sort of similar situation, with the Clara, my Clara, I chose well line in Flatline. She was kind of
It was hinting for something.
Yeah, there was kind of that setup where you could tell that someone had kind of organised this in a way. And
I just thought, sorry, go on.
Sorry, and like I said, it'll probably be the Time Lords, considering that Ashilda said rather explicitly that it was a group of people. But it kind of also felt that there was a bit of a Missy aspect into it, so maybe they'll include her in it as well.
I was just thinking.
Well, do you think they'll react? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry. What I was going to say was, remember a couple of months ago, the 4chan pictures were leaked, and they were confirmed to be true from what we've seen so far. But it had the Doctor and Clara under Gallifrey, but the picture had Clara in the same outfit as Face the Raven, so maybe she could come back as a ghost.
Yeah, I think she's an illusion or something. I seriously do not think that she'll be in the episode for more than 5 minutes in Hellbent.
Well, we know the episode starts off with her saying like, "What song is it?" or something, and it's like, Clara. Her name was Clara.
Yeah.
But would you rank this? Where would you rank this death or this exit in the companion exits of New Who so far?
Well, considering that she's one of the few that actually died, and the exit was actually very emotional, I would actually rate it as one of the better ones. And that's coming from a guy who doesn't particularly like Clara that much.
I agree with that. I'd probably say it's I wouldn't put it as the top, because I think that goes to Donna still. But it's definitely up there compared to. Sorry?
This would be in my top 3. As much as I like this one, as far as emotion, Amy and Rory still get it. But this comes at a very close number 2.
For me personally, it's above Amy and Rory, just because I never really. For me, it just felt like they could have come. It just felt really plot holey that they, like when he said, "Oh, I can never go back," he could go back, and for me that just took away all the emotion. But I can see why you thought it was sad.
Well, I'm just saying in terms of that. I'm not thinking in actual lore. I'm just saying as far as how it was presented.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm not. I can see. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you on how it was emotional. But for me, the plot takes me out of the emotion, if that makes sense.
Yes, I totally understand.
But I completely agree with what you're saying. Like, I don't know about Connor. What do you think? You would.
I would say that it's far better than Amy and Rory. I did not like Amy and Rory at all, so I was kind of glad that they, that was a bit of a boring end. It was just so plain and
predictable.
Yeah, it wasn't really predictable in the sense that I saw it coming in any way. But aside from the announcement where Karen said that she was leaving, but it just kind of felt a bit. A bit of a it was just a bit plain and dull and boring and shitty. It was something like, oh wow, they got touched by a weeping angel, like, you know, all the others in Blink did, you know, like the girl at the beginning of Blink, or
Nightingale.
yeah, or the black guy, or even the Doctor and Martha. It's like, oh yeah, they got touched by an alien. Wow. So what?
Actually, you know what? I might change that. I'll say, as far as the companion exit, it will go Martha, Clara, and then Amy and Rory. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it's like, what's so special about Amy and Rory getting touched by an alien, particularly because we've seen people come back from that as well. You know, I mean, even the Doctor and Martha came back from it and stuff. So it's like, it's ridiculous that they would suggest that that was in any way not only a death, but something that we should get emotional over. But with Clara's, it was just kind of, it was very, 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 very definite. It was very sudden. It was the end of a story. It wasn't. There was no way that they could ever continue her story now, ever. But
It would ruin it if they did.
it would ruin. Yeah, it would completely shatter it if it did. But I doubt Moffat wouldn't even bother anymore. To be honest, considering that Clara's had so much done to her, and she's done so much for the Doctor, and she's done so much for the mythology of the show over 3 years. It'd just be a waste to bring her back in any way, to be honest. But it was very definite. So I'd say, in terms of my favourite exits of companions, I think, because of the fact that she actually died, and because it was final, and there's no way of bringing back Clara, I'd say it was actually the best, because we haven't had that since Adric. Adric wasn't particularly likable, but it's kind of sad.
Nor was Clara.
Well, yeah. It's kind of sad knowing in a show that involves time travel, and a show that involves a lot of the dead coming back alive again and stuff, in many ways, particularly in the Moffat era, as we know. Knowing that someone can't come back is a bit of an alien, unknown concept to Doctor Who. It's very rare, if you think about it, that you come across a character where their end is very, very, very final. Like, you know, there's no way back from it. I think only maybe Adric and Clara.
I think Adric could have came back, because the Doctor could have just went on the TARDIS back in time, just before he fell to Earth in the ship.
Yeah, well,
whereas at least with Clara, there's literally no way.
Yeah, it's all very...
Even if you went back in time in the TARDIS, she's still going to die.
Yeah, it's disheartening, and it's...
Are we still alive?
Yeah, it's a bit emotionally numbing. So I would say that Clara's exit is probably the best.
Fair enough. Jack, what did you think? You haven't really said much.
Think about what? Clara's death?
Face the Raven. Anything.
Well, it was... Well, they let the challenge begin.
As you can see, we value Jack's opinion on this show.
No, it
Even
was
when it's not good.
shit. I hated it. It was crap. No, no. Clara's death, I guess, was like, I've seen it, a clip of it. I mean, I guess it was sad, but I wouldn't say it was the saddest companion departure. You'd probably have to give that to maybe Sarah Jane.
Oh,
Well, Sarah Jane wasn't sad.
well, Sarah Jane didn't have a proper exit.
Yeah, she just kind of was like, bye.
No,
To the
no,
next
I
time.
thought her exit was good. It wasn't like fucking Romana, where it's just like, oh, bye.
I didn't like Sarah Jane's exit.
No, I liked it. It was bittersweet.
She didn't
I
even
liked it.
have an exit. It's just because Elizabeth Sladen died. I mean, they haven't even addressed...
No, Tom
No, you
Baker
mean-
with Tom Baker.
The thing is, with the
I
Tom
know
Baker
what I'm
one,
saying. Like, she came back, so it's not... I wouldn't say it's an exit.
yeah, she didn't really
Well,
come
no, it
out.
was an exit.
Clara's
It
exit.
was an exit. Then she came back, yeah, for one.
Kind of
couple
like
episodes.
Martha's like exit, like she left and then recurred.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's like,
was okay. It wasn't much. It was just like bye, same thing.
Thing is with Sarah Jane's exit, I always thought like, what? Because he had to leave her because he was going to Gallifrey. Surely he could have just came back for her. Like,
He just
it,
moved on. That was the point. He just moved
yeah, but
on.
it just kind of was just a bit like, yeah.
No, it
Me,
wasn't. I don't think it was that bad because he had to move on, and you know she had her own life, and he doesn't know where she is anymore anyway. Like she didn't say where her house was, so how would he have found her anyway?
but he knew she was because was it not Croydon? Was it Croydon?
Yeah, it was the
yeah.
wrong place, so she had to
Yeah,
walk
but he
there.
had
So
an
he didn't.
idea. Like he thought it was so. Like I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it just felt like it was like could have been more to it. I don't know if anyone else.
I disagree. I think it's one of the best because like unlike the other companions like Joe and Romano, where it's like oh bye, they actually it was a sad exit.
Yeah, I
But
suppose.
the thing about Sarah's first exit with Tom is it's a
Very
bit
modest.
dated now because considering like
Oh,
when
how's it dated? Come on.
It's
because
shit,
considering when we
bro.
would have watched it, we would have known already that she came back several times afterwards.
It's not really
The
an
fact
exit.
it
More
It
of
is
is
like
an
not.
exit. I'm sorry. It's better than like all the overblown deaths. Like oh Rose. Oh, that's
But Rose
shit.
didn't
Well,
die.
No,
Rose,
I like it because it's subtle. It's not like oh in your face like oh no she's
Yeah, but
dying.
what I'm
she didn't
saying,
die.
it's the sort of exit that at the time when there was no kind of like there was no kind of evidence that a companion could ever come back. Because I think she was probably
I don't know. I mean,
very
I know Rose didn't die, but I'm sorry, but that her exit was just terrible. It was all
I
so
didn't. I
blubby.
disagree. I
No, it's all
disagree.
blubby and mushy. Like, oh, I love you. Oh, fuck
I
off.
think it was. I think when Sarah came back in, I won't say the Five Doctors because a lot of companions kind of came back in that. But when she came back in School
School
Reunion,
reunion.
I'd say after that, companions leaving wasn't really as good because you always knew that they could come back.
Yeah, I know the whole
To an
Rose thing. I'm
extent.
sorry, but I just thought it was so overdone. Like, oh, this is the day I died. Well, you didn't fucking die, so you know.
Technically, she died because of
No, I
the.
mean, I'm sorry. I just thought it was so stupid. The doctor, and he was about to say, "I love you too." Oh, fuck's sake, Ugh.
I liked it.
No,
Your
it was
opinion's
cheesy.
wrong.
It
Your
was
opinion. I'm
cheesy as
joking.
hell. I'm sorry. Well, that's
That's
me
your.
anyway.
No, that's your opinion. It's fine. I respect it. Like for me personally, she was my first companion. I thought it was like very sad and
Well, no, I mean, I like Rose in series one, but I didn't like her in series two.
I didn't really. For me, I'll always like Rose because she was the one I started off with. So regardless, I know she isn't the best. And I don't think she's the best. I think if it's either Donna or Martha. But for me, it's just the fact that it's probably nostalgia more that she's my companion, he was my doctor. I'm gonna stick by them. So I liked her exit, and I like Martha's, and I like Donna's. Amy and Rory's, I'm a bit like, meh. And then Clara's. If this is her exit, I quite liked it. But yeah. Anything else to say?
No, I got
You're
nothing
a
else.
troll.
I'm gonna have to mute you for that insult. David, were you gonna say something?
I got nothing else.
Okay, well we can end it there. I just want to say thanks for David for coming on. Appreciate it, and thanks to Jack and Connor as well. Um, as usual, we'll be back next week for Heaven Sent, I believe. Looks pretty cool. So yeah, bye
Sounds like a
everyone.
shampoo.
Oh god. Yeah, if everyone wants to say goodbye, goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, that was it. Thanks for watching. Bye.